You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, Corey in the Kitchen. How have you known me? How have you found me? Hi, hello. I am so happy you're here. Sorry it's been a minute. I've been MIA. I've been gone. I missed the last 2 Sundays of episodes. Let's just call it what it is. I'm posting on Mondays now. I like having Sunday to actually record and edit the episode, because if I post on Sunday, then I feel like I have to do everything on Saturday, but Saturday is when I want to, relax. What a concept. Not one that I understand, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm here. Sorry, guys. I hope you haven't missed me too much. I know my 20 consistent listeners haven't, so thanks for sticking with me. But as you probably know, today is our Q4 intentions episode. But before we get into that, and even before we get into the weekly report, I have an important thing to discuss, and that is voting. If you are a human in the United States and have a brain, you should know that there is a presidential election this year, and this November, next month specifically. And no matter which way you're voting, you guys know how I'm voting. I care about women's rights and the choice to be able to have an abortion, whether you want to, whether you need to, whether you have to, because believe it or not, some women have to. They don't have the means, or I can't even get into it. I could talk about this for forever, but anyways, I want to be able to have an abortion if I need to. So that is that. And that is impacting how I'm voting. So do your research and vote for what matters to you. But anyway, what's more important is that you vote. And so if you live in North Carolina, I wanted to call out some important dates. So if you are not registered to vote, you can do it in person now. It is too late, I'm pretty sure, to register online or by mail, but you can register in person during early voting, which is October 17th to November 2nd. And those early voting sites, literally just Google it. If you go to North Carolina early voting locations and times, it'll tell you, and it's all by county. So if you are registered in the county that you live in, it's very easy to go in person. But if you have moved and you haven't changed the county that you're registered in, you can request an absentee ballot. That has to be done. It has to be requested, which you do online, by October 29th. And you have to return the ballot by mail by November 5th or return it in person by November 5th, which November 5th is also election day. So if you want to miss all the early voting and absentee ballots and all that, just go in person on November 5th. But please just vote and do your research. I will say I feel like absentee ballots have a kind of a negative rap, but I would say I like them because you can sit, and I don't know who the council members and boards of X, Y, and Z are. I like to be able to sit and research while I'm voting, which obviously you can do before, and there are mock ballots and stuff, so you can do all that beforehand, but I don't know, it kind of stresses me out. So I will probably be... Actually, I don't know. I don't have my plan yet, but also I need to make my plan, which, okay. Please vote. Just vote. It's so important. Also going to plug the Call Her Daddy episode with Kamala Harris. And it's not about politics. I mean, of course it all ties to politics, but it's about women's rights. And just listen to it, please. We're educating ourselves, and we're voting, and we're all voting. All the cool kids vote. So please vote. All right. Anyway, little interlude. Now back to Phone Eats First, Q4 intentions. But of course, before we get into all that, we will get into the weekly report, which it's been a while, so bear with me. Okay, our reading. Have I been reading? Let me tell you. I cranked out Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I finished Iron Flame last night. I read for probably 2 hours and I was like, I'm getting through this. Loved it. Absolutely loved those 2 books. And the third one comes out in January of next year. And there's also going to be a TV show on Amazon apparently. So I'm really pumped about that. If you like fantasy, if you like dragons, if you like Harry Potter... Please read it. It is so good. And it's also less intimidating than A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which is all the rage now, all the fairy lovers. Can we call it something other than fairies? Because when I heard that, I was like, what the hell? I don't want to read that. But then I was like, okay, I know I'm going to like it, so I'm just going to start reading it. And I do love it, and I'm hooked, and I love the fairy fantasy realm. I guess, but also fantasy sounds intimidating and kind of weird. I don't know. But we'll circle back on what we're going to call this genre of reading, but it's so good. And I saw a really funny meme that I related to. It was like, why read a self-help book when you can just help yourself by reading and literally disappearing into a whole nother world? I was like, that is so true, because when I'm reading these books, I want to like wake up and like go to training for war and all of these things and fly on a dragon and have magic. They're so good. But I definitely recommend Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. They're really, really good. Has romance, has lots of action, has magic, they're in this school setting. It's so good. It's so good. Just read it, please. And then let me know what you think, because when I finished Iron Flame last night, I literally texted like 3 people and I was like, oh my God, holy shit. Oh my God, someone engage with me on what just happened. But now I am going to start reading One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid on Kindle, of course, which is going to be a nice little, I'm assuming, romance situation. I did see a lot of amazing things about it on TikTok, and one specific person, Anna Sitar, who is an influencer, she read it and was posting about it and like literally couldn't stop crying. She was like, this changed my view on love and life and all of these things. So I have been needing more of like a grounding book, so gonna read that next. Okay, eating. I'm eating everything, just the normal. I don't even know. I've been in California for literally a week and a half, and I got back on Friday night. So yeah, I don't really know what I've been eating, but now that I'm back home, yogurt bowls, I just made granola, sourdough, eggs, Ninja Creamy, the basics, just literally the basics. And when I was in California, we just eat such normal food, which I am not complaining about. That's my dream, to just eat normal. Okay, but plan. So we're gonna recap California, because I was there for so long and I unintentionally hit all the stops. I was in San Diego for work for 4 to 5 days, but during that time, SG and I spontaneously went and saw Alex Cooper in LA. So we did a little day trip or not even a day trip, an evening there and back to LA to watch the Call Her Daddy live show, which was awesome. And then after San Diego, I flew into Santa Rosa, which is Northern California, and spent 2 or 3 days in Healdsburg, which is the wine country. It's absolutely beautiful. And then from Healdsburg, we went to straight to Yosemite. My mom and I went to Yosemite. So I got the inspiration from Emily, shout out you, and then my other friend Blaine, who was also there last week. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to go. Like, I have a week in California and nothing to do. I might as well go. I knew my mom wasn't going to want to go, but I told her, I was like, come on, it'll be fun. We'll get to see the mountains. And I did all of the driving. We got a rental car. It was incredible. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Yosemite or any national park, now I want to go to all of the national parks ever, you got to do it. I'm going to Phoenix in maybe 2 weeks, and I really want to go to the Grand Canyon, which I went when I was in like first grade maybe, but I obviously haven't been back since. And now that I have seen the magnitude and beautifulness of Yosemite, for lack of a better word, I want to see them all, because it is truly mind-blowing. And also, I can attest, you can do Yosemite in like 3 hours. You don't need to go for 5 days. You don't need to camp. We stayed in a little bed and breakfast in Oakhurst, which ended up being like 30 minutes from Yosemite, but driving there is all relative, because you can do the whole thing in your car, which I also didn't know. I thought you'd have to go and hike 5 miles here, hike 7 miles here, hike 2 miles here. No, you literally just go in, drive the loop, stop, look, take pictures, stop, look, take pictures, drive further, drive that way. I mean, definitely have a plan, but you can kind of just figure it out as you go. It's nice. It's definitely my cup of tea. And then after Yosemite, we went back to Piedmont in Oakland, where my family lives, and hung out there, and then went into San Francisco for a day. It was absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, Emily and Brendan no longer live there, but I did still walk by their apartment just to reminisce, walk through the marina. I love San Francisco. It's the best place ever. And then flew home shortly after. So my week off of work and week vacation in California has come to an end, but it was amazing. I love California. As you all know, if you're new here, yes, I love California. I'm obsessed with it. Everyone thinks I live there because I'm there so often. One day, maybe one day. We don't know. Okay, obsession. I'm taking the easy route here and saying California. I love it. The weather, the people, the views. I also drove through San Francisco, which I've never done. And I can say I did a fantastic job. I'm still here, aren't I? I also drove to Yosemite, drove through Yosemite, drove back from Yosemite, drove into San Francisco, drove back from San Francisco, drove to the airport. I have never done that much driving in Northern California. And I did a great job. That's really not important to anything, but I'm patting myself on the back for that. Okay, our recipe, I've got kind of two. So first of all, one that I forgot is swamp soup. I had some last night because it was in my freezer, and I obviously haven't gone to the grocery store yet. And so I took it out of my freezer and really enjoyed it last night. It's green, hence the name. And it's just chicken and rice with a million different green vegetables, herbs, all of that. And I mean, not even vegetables. It's just like spinach. And then you put in a bunch of cilantro and jalapeno and lime and other stuff. I don't remember off the top of my head. Just Google swamp soup by Wishbone Kitchen. It's fantastic. It's also really good if you're getting kind of sick, which thankfully I'm not. But I did have it when I was kind of feeling under the weather back whenever I made it. And with the jalapeno, it's one of those soups that just kind of loosens everything because you're eating it kind of your mouth's on fire, but also, all the greens are good for you. It's just really good. I recommend. And then the other recipe is chili, which have not made yet, but making today. So I will report back on Corey in the Kitchen. But I kind of just am going to wing it. You need beef, you need onion, garlic, beans, a bell pepper, hella seasoning, broth. It'll be fine. It's going to be fine. But I'm excited for that. And it's also a great Sunday football activity. And it is definitely fall here in Raleigh because it's chilly. The leaves are turning. It's chilly time. It's soup season officially. Declaring it here, it is soup season. Okay. Oh, wow. I haven't talked to myself in a long time. I'm just, wow, got so many words flowing out of me. Do you ever feel like you're talking and you are saying things and your brain's like, wait, slow down. I'm not even like, how are these words even coming out of my mouth? Because my brain's not caught up and I'm like, what am I saying? Or maybe it's the 3 cups of coffee I've had today. But look at my cute new mug. It says, I'm only a morning person for my dog. Elise got it for me for watching her dog, which I did think about this. Hi, Elise, if you're listening. She has now given me 2 coffee mugs that have dogs on them. Talk about knowing your friends. Okay, and lastly, we've got Tea Treat, which, don't worry, it's not Date Bark or Ninja Creamy yet. It is the brown butter latte from Drift Coffee, which is Drift is from Wilmington, but there is a new one that just opened in Raleigh, near the Whole Foods off Wade, if you're listening and live in Raleigh and care. And it is so good. I went with my friend Elizabeth the other weekend because it's right near my house. And there's also not a really good coffee spot right near my house that I like to go to. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. We can go try it. And she asked for their holiday menu. They said brown butter. And we were like, that sounds delicious. And it was. I can't really describe the taste. Like, it doesn't taste like butter. It just tastes like sweet, but not too sweet. Oh, I don't know. It was just so good. I also love a dirty chai, as you all know, and it was kind of the same palette, I guess you could say, as a dirty chai. But all right, that is the weekly report. Now let's get into the episode. All right, everyone, let's get into our Q4 intentions. And again, if you're new here or if you forgot, we here at Phone Eats First, we set intentions. We don't set resolutions. And why, you may ask? Because a resolution is something that is so final that if you break your resolution, you mess up, you don't hit your goal 100%, you feel like you have failed. So why set yourself up for failure when you can just set intentions, which are aims, goals, plans, a guide to get you to where you want to be. So forget the word resolution. We are doing intentions. This all started back in 2024 when I set my intentions for the year and I posted an episode, and then I was like, you know what? Every 3 months, every quarter, let's check back in and either reflect on the intentions or set new ones for the next 3 months. Because let's also be real. The things that you want back in January when you're going through seasonal depression, you're pale, you probably have been eating like shit, you probably haven't been working out much, you've been with family for way too long, you probably have really optimistic goals, or they might all be health related, or I don't know. I mean, things happen throughout the year, and so your mindsets change, your goals change, your plans change, so why not set new goals and intentions to get to where you want to be? Because also, you can have short-term goals, you can have long-term goals, but the things you set for the entire year, like that's hard. Do you even remember what you thought you wanted to do in January? So that's the synopsis of why we have our quarterly intentions. So let's just get into it. In my Q3 episode, my number one thing was, Corey, I hope you're doing okay, because Q2 for me is nuts. Like, it's literally nuts. And I survived Q2. It's my crazy work season. And so Q3 is my relax. Once I get into August and September, it's relaxing and it's fantastic. I don't have much work. I get to take vacation, but also here I am a month into Q4 and I just took a week-long vacation. So still on the easy side of work, which is amazing. So in all of that aspect, I'm doing good. But also, I just kind of feel like I have my shit together right now. And can't say that that's usually the case or always the case. So that's a really good feeling. But I have been on my workout game I'm finally back. I've been going to core power yoga, which you probably have all seen and heard me talk about. I'm obsessed. But so I've actually been working out in the morning before work, either at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I've been going on weekends. I've been going when I'm traveling a little bit. And I have been neglecting my Peloton. I'm really sorry. But today I literally canceled my yoga class because I was like, I need to get out back on the bike, get on the Peloton. I do still love my Peloton and will always be a Peloton fan. But, sometimes you just have to mix it up. And so I've been loving my hot yoga, which having a workout class it's so great. And I'm going to talk about this for different reasons throughout this episode. But I always have known that I like to work out in the morning. But it's a lot easier said than done to get up and go to a class. But I have found it to be a lot more successful to actually have a class that I have paid for and booked, because you have to go. It's that, or I have a cancellation fee, a no-show fee, versus just knowing that, oh yeah, I have my little gym in here, but I mean, it's always there. It's really, I could just sleep for 15 or 30 more minutes. And then before you know it, you've gone back to sleep more and then you don't have time to work out. So having a workout class has allowed me to be consistent and show up for myself and just, have that discipline that not having a workout class or this thing that's booked kind of makes it challenging to actually go. Food wise, I've been eating really good. Also because I've been home. And so I've been able to get my groceries, go to the farmer's market, cook for myself, just do all of the things. And also, like I just said, I've actually been home. I mean, this is being home a lot for me, which I'm never home. I'm just literally never home. I like having trips. I love traveling. I like seeing my friends and having plans and being busy. But for me, being home during the week and on some weekends, it's a good feeling to sleep in your own bed, to be in your own kitchen, to, again, have all the food that you want, and also not have to buy groceries limited to the amount of days you're going to be home, because then that just makes it kind of frustrating. You're like, okay, well, I'm only going to make one dinner. I better choose well, because if I don't feel like eating this, sorry, got to eat it, got to clean out the fridge. But so I've just been home. And then also I've had so much time with Callie, my girl. And then, I mean, ironic saying all of this after being gone for the last week and a half, but I have had a lot of Callie time, which is the best. I love it so much. Getting all of our walks in, all of our cuddles. She is a little squirrel crazy right now. Like, if you hear her bark in the backyard really aggressively, it's because the squirrels are running across the trees over her and she can't do anything about it, but she thinks that she can. So yeah. And I've been reading and sleeping, which, if you know me, two of my favorite things to do. And just having the luxury and time to read, which I've been making a lot more time to read because I'm kind of addicted to reading right now and probably will be for the foreseeable future. But just knowing that that is something that you're doing is a sign to me that I'm doing good because I'm making time for the things that I want to do, working out, reading, hanging out with my dog, hanging out with my friends, going on personal trips, sleeping, eating, all of my favorite things. But kind of back to the whole point of this little number one, I guess, of just making sure you're okay, is I told myself in Q3 that I wanted to slow down, which I did, hence all those things I just said I've been able to do. But I've also learned that there are many different definitions to doing okay. And that just depends on the time of year and what your priorities are at the moment, which thankfully work is not a priority for me right now, like it was in Q2 and Q3. But here in Q4, we're getting shit done. So in Q3, I said we needed to make our appointments, get all of our appointments. And I actually did that. Again, pat on the back. And I found new doctors in Raleigh. I got the eye doctor, dentist, dermatologist, gynecologist, all the things. But next on the adult list is insurance, which can't say I'm excited about that one. But if you're my father listening to this, I will get my car insurance. Don't you worry. I did get a new ID, which if you ever if you need to get a new ID or change your address, you can just, at least in North Carolina, you can do it online, pay $16. You don't have to go to the DMV. So that's a little plug. I'm officially a Raleigh resident now. Nothing will be going to Jamestown, North Carolina anymore, thank God. But yeah, so adult stuff will always be going, but we're getting it done. And I will say it is oddly more satisfying than just doing like a normal chore or something. But all right, number two. If you didn't know this is a list. Number 2, routines. So in Q3, I said that mine were way too long and a little more in depth, and I need to be more flexible. And I don't think I've changed my routines, but I think I've gotten better at it. And I also literally realized last night that just tell yourself, don't be lazy for 5 seconds and just do the thing that you need to get done. And I do it. You know what? It is what it is. I need to make my stupid ice cubes and because I want ice. So I need to not be lazy for 30 seconds and just do it. And then I'm rewarded with ice. So it's a win-win. Well, not really win-win. It's like a win. Okay. Also, to keep my routines in check, I have this new to-do list method on my notes app with the little bubble bullet points. And I really like it. I list out my meals, the things I need to do, my yoga classes, when I have soccer at work, like just random trips. And laying out my week has really helped me a lot. So it's not really an intention. It's just something that's working and succeeding. God, I can't talk. All right, number 3, content. If you remember in the Q3 intentions episode, I said video podcast was on the horizon. Didn't think it'd be this soon, but hey, here we are in video. And still on the list, merch. I really want to make Phone Eats First hats. I have spoiled that online. Not like anyone cares or follows me, but it's coming. I don't know when. Don't hold your breath, but it's going to happen at some point. All right, number 4 has to deal with food. And I did talk about this a little bit, but I am killing the protein animal-based diet game, which I do think it's interesting that there's like a TikTok trend now for people to do the like, animal-based diet and do their meal on a cutting board, which I am here for. I kind of like the cutting board aesthetic. But if you don't know what this is, it's really just making sure you're getting all your protein in and eating real whole food, which I don't think this should ever be a diet. This should just be how we eat because we want to be healthy and fueled and not eat a bunch of processed crap. So I recommend jumping on that train if you aren't already. I've also been making a lot of sourdough. When my friends came the other weekend, I made 4 loaves in a day, 2 days, however long it takes. So that was fun. And I'm really excited for soup season, which I did proclaim it is officially soup season. So watch out. But another little intention for Q4, which again, these aren't really intentions. It's just like, I'm doing good. I am where I want to be, which is can't always say is the thing, but I want to keep all this up. But also I have an interesting relationship with alcohol right now. I haven't been drinking like really at all the last few weeks, months. I didn't have a sip of alcohol in California, even though I was in the freaking wine country. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't want to. I went to a friend's wedding the other weekend, didn't drink. When I was in San Diego with Price, like back in August, I ordered one drink and it was disgusting, so I didn't even drink it. I don't know. I've always been, I don't want to say sober curious, but I've always been interested in not drinking. And I definitely drink because, I mean, I do enjoy a beer. I enjoy a cocktail. Like, I think they're fun and taste good sometimes, but I love feeling good, and alcohol doesn't make you feel good. So I'm kind of, I don't know, just going to keep this up and see where it goes. And I don't want to drink just because other people are drinking. Like, I only want to drink because I want to drink. So let's just say my Q4 intention is listen to yourself and see how your relationship with alcohol goes and changes. I don't know. I don't really know. Maybe I'll touch on this more later, but as of now, I'm like really not drinking. And yeah, but I don't want it to limit me and be like, oh, I don't want to go because I don't want to drink. I need to work on that, which I think everyone has social anxiety about alcohol and being in large groups, and you want to drink because you want to fit in and be social and be able to talk. I don't know. That's where we are right now. Okay. Anyway, number 5, health. LOL. I said I was going to do cardio. Haven't done that. Which in my core power yoga, there is one song per class of cardio where you do like jumping jacks and high knees and all of that. But I haven't been running. I do still want to run a half marathon. When and where and how that will happen, no idea. But I just kind of know it will happen at some point. All right, number 6, reading. I've already touched on this. I've been reading so much with my Kindle. I finally unleashed the Kindle, and it's game changing. It's worth it. Get a Kindle. If you like to read, you will love a Kindle. I know we all like paperback books. You still can read paperback books, but you read so much more on a Kindle, and it's all like at your fingertips, and you have access to more books for free too. Books are cheaper on the Kindle, which is a massive plug. So yeah, I'm addicted to reading. I don't really know how else to put it. It's not an issue though. It's a good addiction, I think. And I also said in the Q3 episode that connecting with people over books is such a cool connection and relationship, and there's really kind of nothing like it. Being able to talk to your friends or make friends over books, it just makes you more interesting. And if you're not a reader, you're like, Corey, shut up. Like, no one gives a shit about reading. But when you're able to talk to someone about a book or an author or a series, it's, I don't know, I can't really explain it. It's just such a happy, positive connection. Okay, and some new things for Q4, not just like reflecting on the old ones. Number 1, and this ties into core powers. Well, I said I would reference it a lot, but don't be afraid to say hi to people and make friends. It's scary. Just friends. We're not talking about finding your significant other, future spouse. I'm just saying like girl to girl, guy to guy. It's so funny how it's scary to just go up to a girl and be like, hey, whatever, talk to them, like want to be their friend. But in reality, everyone just wants to be friends and have friends and make friends and like be cool and friendly and nice to each other. But it's like so scary to just go up to another girl. But odds are she wants to be your friend too. And so why this relates to core power is because I have been to so many classes where I have known someone or know of someone, and you're like, oh, I don't want to say hi at 6 a.m. We're sweating, disgusting. Like no one really wants to talk. But at the end of the class you do anyways, or you walk by them and it's like, oh, hey. For some reason I feel nervous about saying hi to someone I know, but then you finally just rip the band-aid off and say hi. And it's like, why was I scared in the first place? Because they're saying hi, we're in a conversation now. It's like, oh, let's go get coffee after. Like there's a girl from my sorority in my class. There was someone I played soccer with, and we were literally mat to mat next to each other. And I was like, oh my God, hi. Like, what's up? Didn't know you. And everyone's like, oh, I didn't know you live here. Then you just go into small talk. But then there's another girl, which down the line, if we end up being friends and you listen to this podcast, this might be weird, but hi. But it's like someone from High Point who I've known of, and we saw each other and I was like, wait, I know exactly who you are, because like Instagram, social media, soccer, I don't even know. And then we were both like, oh my God, Nick, I know you, like let's grab coffee sometime. And we haven't, but maybe we will one day. You never know. But it's just like, don't be afraid to just start a conversation with someone. Or I haven't done the thing where I'm like talking to a random stranger, but we're working towards just like normalizing all of this and making friends easier and more friendly, because everyone wants friends. Okay, number 2 and 3, I guess we'll just combine because they're on the same wavelength. But say yes more and be spontaneous. This all ties into my Yosemite trip, if you can't tell. So this is something I've wanted to do. It's not like it was number 1 on my bucket list or anything, but I've always wanted to go to a national park, Yosemite. But I'm like, that just seems so out of reach. But it's not. All I had to do was rent a car, drive there, find a hotel, kind of make a game plan, which TikTok is a fantastic place for research if you're trying to explore somewhere new and you don't really know where to start. Just do it. Just say yes. And I got my mom to say yes too, and we had so much fun. We were in the car for like forever, but I can say I've been to Yosemite now. But there's so many times where I'm like, oh, I really want to do this, or I don't know, just something seems really intimidating, and it's like, well, just do it. Just be spontaneous. Just figure it out as you go. And lastly, my fifth, I don't know what number we're on, intention for Q4. And this also ties into the saying yes, being spontaneous, but it also on like a deeper level, it's stop waiting for later. Like, don't be like, oh, I'll do this later. I'll do this next time. Whether it's a chore, like something as small as putting your laundry away, or something as big as planning a trip you've always wanted to go on and go to Yosemite or go to California or take a week off of work. Don't just wait for later. And if you haven't listened to my episode with Rory, my cousin, the most recent one, she gives really good advice about being in your 20s. And we all look at our 20s or we all plan in our 20s for things to happen down the road. It's like, oh, eventually I'm going to live in this place or be in this relationship or have this job or be at this point in my career or have this money or go on this trip. Not to be morbid, but like tomorrow's not promised, and we don't know where we'll actually be in 5 or 10 or 1 year. You could be exactly where you want to be. You could be behind where you are right now. You could be the exact same spot. You don't really know. So planning for later for things that you want to do now, you might not even be wanting to do them later, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, could just be indifferent. I don't know. It's hard to articulate all of these thoughts, but I feel like you guys can kind of get a gist of what I'm saying, where why is it so normal to just like, oh, I'll eventually do this, I'll eventually be at this point in my life, when why don't we do that now? So I'm not even referring to anything in particular, but just in Q4 and going into 2025, which, oh my God, that's so soon. I don't know, just doing the things that you want to do. Or if it is something that you can't do like tomorrow, but you can do in 2 months, plan for that. Get excited for it. Figure out how that's going to happen. And let's make it happen. I think those are all my Q4 intentions. I'll probably think of more as soon as I stop recording, but that's kind of the glory of a podcast. I can just talk about it later or just keep it to myself. I don't know. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you are having a wonderful week, and you're also excited for the next 3 months as we're getting close to a whole nother new year. Oh my God, that's terrifying. But yeah, if you are not already following along, follow me at Corey_in the kitchen on Instagram and TikTok, and Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram and YouTube. And like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Follow me, rate the show, share it with your friends, please. We got to keep Phone Eats First going up, please. Because then maybe I can get Phone Eats First merch and ads and do all this for fun and actually get paid for it. That'd be really cool. But in the meantime, just little me in my studio and my microphone with my camera now, and Callie and the little sun behind me through that door. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and let me know what your Q4 intentions are. We will talk soon. You are listening to Phone Eats First.